YouTube, my name is rhianaB and welcome back to another episode of my Survivor review. We are now currently on episode 2 of Survivor Heroes vs. Healers vs. Hustlers, so let's dive right into it. So we basically start with the aftermath of the last tribal council with the Heroes tribe, and we basically see that Chrissy's really thinking about the game. She's really invested into what's happening around her. She's planning so many steps ahead. She's really got her mind in the game. So I'm a little pleasantly surprised. I didn't think that this was going to come out of her, but I think because she was on the chopping block last episode, I think that really sparked a fire in her, and now she's really ready to play the game. And I'm very excited to see how it's going to turn out. Another thing that kind of was messing with my head was that the Ashley and JP alliance. We all know from last episode that that was considered a power couple, that they were considered a power couple. And this happens a lot when these so-called power couples come into the game, that they never realize that they're in a power couple. I'm like, we're in season 35 of Survivor. You really do not understand that if you are a good-looking guy and a good-looking girl, that if you get together and in some sort of an alliance, don't you think that people are gonna assume that that's what's happening? You may not see it that way, but everyone else will, and that's what's gonna hurt you. It doesn't matter if you think you're a power couple, it matters if everyone else thinks you're a power couple. So that was kind of messing in my head, because I'm just like, because this happens all the time. How do you not know that people are going to assume that you're a power couple? So moving on to Hustler Camp, we kind of see that Simone is kind of like the outsider. She's not very an outdoorsy girl. She's not as super social as some of the other competitors on her tribe. So she ends up, well, technically not her, but Allie goes to Simone, seeing that she's kind of a loner and maybe she could get another ally. So she talks to Simone, and this could be a possible new sub-alliance for Allie. Then to the Healers Camp. As we saw in the previews for this episode, we see that Cole and Jessica are kind of, I wouldn't say like a super coupley relationship, but there definitely is flirting, and I don't know how far that's going to go. There definitely is probably a strong connection, but are they like a couple or just a power couple? I mean, it's kind of all up in the air right now. The main thing that I want to focus on the Healers Camp is that Joe, in typical, like, I don't know, basically he's being like an exact copy of Tony right now. So Tony rushes off into the middle of the jungle and finds a clue to the hidden immunity idol, which clever by the production team at Survivor, because they actually put the clue on a tree trunk. I thought that was really clever, because honestly, you know, finding like something under a rock or in a small little hole in a tree kind of been done before. I love the fact that they're getting creative with the clues that they're trying to give to the contestants, so I really love the fact that it was just kind of like a regular little clue on a tree trunk. So Joe can't figure out the clue, so he brings Joel into the picture and gets him to help him find the idol. And Joe finds the idol with Cole right by his side. So this does give a lot of power to Joe, probably a little too much power, and if anything's gonna happen like with Tony, that power may go to his head a little bit. What Joe needs to do is, if he plans on going deep into the game, he really needs to find like his right-hand man. He really needs to find that one person that will follow him to the very end. Kind of like in Tony's season, he had Trish, and Trish was always by his side, always defended him, talked to everyone around him, and gave reason to trust her. So in retrospect, they trust Tony. So if Joe plans to make it that far, he's gonna need to do something similar to that, because if not, he's gonna have a lot of power in his hands, and that'll put a big target on his back. And now back to Heroes Camp. We see Chrissy really playing the game yet again when she's trying to find her new partner in crime here. So she decides to team up with Ben. Ben, who's kind of like the one person she really sees as being a good ally, because she basically calls out everyone else on the tribe and says, I can't trust you. But she does trust Ben. So they may have a new little alliance going, and now the question is, do they bring in Alan or do they bring in Ashley? And honestly, Chrissy could give less craps about JP because she thinks he's stupid. Back to Hustler Camp. One of the funnier moments I think of the episode was just seeing Patrick freak out over a crab. Like, apparently he has a phobia, or at least a fear of crabs, which is kind of like a random kind of phobia, I don't know. But he's basically a very loud, obnoxious type of a personality. does not sit well with a number of people, including Lauren, who really has a big problem with it. And because of that, plus she is an older woman, she is kind of stuck with the mentality that because she's older, that she is the outsider. So, yet again, Allie comes into the picture and talks to Lauren. I kind of thought that there would be a all-girl alliance possibly, but I'll get to that in the end here. So we get to the immunity challenge and healers win yet again, and heroes actually take second place, which sends the hustlers to tribal council. So on the chopping block for the hustlers, we have Patrick and we have Simone for different reasons. Patrick's pros is that he's strong and he does work around camp. Pros for Simone is that she's loyal and she's smart. Cons for Patrick is that he's very unpredictable and he's also very loud. Cons for Simone are that she's not that great in challenges and, surprise, surprise, she's smart. I sometimes think that being smart in the game of Survivor, I mean, it's crucial that you know what you're doing and you are smart in ways of the game. However, you can't like shove smartness in people's faces because that'll really make people really not want to work with you, because if you're too smart, then you're overthinking the game and that can affect you, da-da-da-da-da. So there has to be like an even balance of how smart you play the game. So we get to tribal council, and basically, although no one really said it, it is between Patrick and Simone. Although Patrick made a slight little mistake when he, instead of saying, I trust all of my tribe members, he basically says, I trust most of my tribe members. That is a big, big no-no in Survivor. You really need to think all of your words out carefully, because if you say just one little word, or you even have like a pause, like an awkward pause, that could really affect other people's perceptions of you. And I think that's what happened with Patrick. But nonetheless, Simone got the most votes, and Simone is the second person voted out of Survivor, Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers. So previews for next week. There is going to be more development of the Patrick versus Lauren feud. So we may have a couple of nasty words and maybe a couple of fights, which may bring up the drama, which, hey, good for views. And then we see, I think, one of the more interesting parts of next episode, which is going to be Cole is going to spill the beans on Joe's hidden immunity idol. That is gonna really change things up. Because once Cole brings that out into the open, everyone knows, big, big target on Joe's back. So we're gonna have to see what Joe's gonna do to really save himself from this situation. So now we are moving on to my vote off predictions. So let's say heroes go to tribal council. I really do think that Ashley is on the bottom, and maybe Alan, because he is unpredictable because of his blow up in the last episode. I think it would be between the two of them. If healers somehow went to tribal council, Joe is definitely high on the list. Besides that, honestly, I'm not too sure. I think Joe's the main target if healers go to tribal council. And if hustlers go back to tribal council yet again, Patrick, I think, is up on the chopping block, and I'm not too sure, but maybe Lauren, maybe Ryan. But only I'm saying that because I haven't really seen much of their challenge participation, and that's going to be a big factor. Ryan is a pretty skinny guy. If he's smart enough, he could do well in puzzles, but athletically, that's kind of up in the air. And Lauren did sit out at the immunity challenge this episode, and I haven't really seen much of her skill yet. Plus, she's still kind of on the outside. I'm not too sure. So there you guys go. That is my review of episode 2 of Survivor season 35. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me comments down below. What did you think of this week's episode? Tell me who you think will be on the chopping block next episode. I would love to read your comments. And if you want to see my future videos or videos I've already done, go ahead, hit subscribe and hit the little bell icon so you can be notified when my videos come out. That's all I have for you guys today. And until the next video, bye!